Hello, my name's Keith Langley. I worship at All Saints at Barret in Elmet. Today's reflection is from Luke's Gospel, chapter 17, reading from verse 26. Jesus says, "As it was in the time of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. Everybody kept on eating and drinking, and men and women were married, up to the very day Noah went into the boat, and the flood came and killed them all. It will be as it was in the time of Lot. Everybody kept on eating and drinking, buying and selling, planting and building. On the day Lot left Sodom, fire and sulphur rained down from heaven and killed them all. That is how it will be on the day the Son of Man is revealed. On that day, someone who is on the roof of a house must not go down into the house to get any belongings. In the same way, anyone who is out in the field must not go back to the house. Remember Lot's wife. Those who try to save their own life will lose it. Those who lose their life will save it. On that night, I tell you, there will be two people sleeping in the same bed. One will be taken away, the other will be left behind. Two women will be grinding meal together. One will be taken away, the other will be left behind." The disciples asked him, "Where, Lord?" Jesus answered, "Wherever there is a dead body, the vultures will gather." There was once a man who was driving in his car. He was travelling at 40 miles an hour in an area which was a 30-mile-an-hour zone. All of a sudden, something appeared in front of him, something very unexpected. It was a sign. "Warning! Speed camera ahead." He thought, what shall I do? He had a number of options. One, he could ignore it. Hey, it's a speed camera sign. Doesn't mean there's a speed camera. There's always signs. They put these signs up. It's easy. Signs are cheap. Cameras are expensive. They put signs up even when there isn't a camera, because they can't afford to put a camera in every possible place. There isn't a camera. I don't believe that there is a speed camera. I am carrying on at 40 miles an hour. Or maybe he does believe there's a camera, but carries on doing 40 miles an hour anyway, and hopes that he will see the camera in time so that he can put his foot on the brake pedal before the camera takes a picture. Or another option, you can just slow down, take heed, note the warning, and slow down anyway. In today's Gospel reading, Jesus gives a warning. Let's just, for a moment, just go back to me now. Right, Jesus gives a warning. Effectively, he's doing the same job as that sign. He's warning his listeners that there's trouble ahead. There's a speed camera, effectively, in 21st century language. He's warning. And it's not just in today's Gospel reading. It occurs throughout the Gospels and elsewhere in the New Testament. The idea that Jesus is coming back at some time in the future, unexpectedly. There's even references in the Old Testament to the sound of the trumpet blast, etc. So, what Jesus is doing here is he's giving the warning that there's a speed camera up ahead, but he can't tell people when or where it will be. All he can say is there is a camera ahead. And you know, here in the 21st century, we as Christians have a similar job to do. There are people around us who are living lives at 40 miles an hour. And it's up to us as Christians to warn them that there is a speed camera ahead. There's two ways we can do it. One is we can do it verbally. We can just say that there's this warning ahead, trouble ahead, this speed camera that's coming up. And some people are quite comfortable doing that. It's a bit like when you're driving along the road and you see somebody coming the other way and they start flashing the headlights at you rapidly. And it's distracting. You slow down. And then you go around the corner and there's a policeman there with a speed gun. The person has warned you. They've been through the village or whatever it is, and they're indicating to you as the oncoming driver, watch out around the corner, mate. Policeman there with a speed gun. The other way we can do it, though, is by our actions rather than by our words. That's again, it's a bit like if you're driving along a road and you're driving as fast as you can legally do, 30 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and then somebody comes up behind you. You've been in that situation, haven't you? And they want to go faster, and they almost try to intimidate you into saying, well, you're slowing me down. But we carry on at 30 miles an hour in order to show them this is how you should drive in this area. And so it's up to us. But let's just go back. Let's just go back to the story. What would, if we tell people, what will they do? Will they take note? Or will they not? Will they be like the driver that says, I don't believe there's a camera up ahead. I don't believe this stuff that you're telling me. I don't want to change to be like you. 30 miles an hour, that's boring. Yeah, they could be like that. Or perhaps they will believe what we tell them, but at the same time, they're not ready to change. I'm quite happy as I am. Later in life, when I'm further down my journey, then I'll think about settling down. And they just hope, it's kind of a stick or twist each day. They hope that it won't happen until they've had a chance to change their behaviours. Or maybe some people will just accept what we tell them and thank us. Oh, thank you for that warning. Appreciate it. Of course, the analogy of the speed camera isn't perfect because the consequences are not quite the same. Let's go back to the slide. See, what we have is if someone is caught by a speed camera, they might get away with a warning. They might have to pay a fine. They might have to declare it on their insurance and risk an increase in their premium. Or they might get 3 points on their license. None of these things are massively life-changing. But let's suppose when someone sees that warning, that they are warned that there are eternal consequences to ignoring the sign, then perhaps, maybe, just maybe, they might think seriously about changing the way in which they behave, the way in which they drive.